and just say that we had some technical difficulties. Okay,
Sounds good.
we're back on live.
Okay.
So we were talking about that ESPN president when he answered yes to the question, do we hire the minority or the person most qualified? And what I missed the end part of that. Did we decide something about that? Do you guys believe that that's the right approach to hiring?
I don't know, we discussed it a little bit more, and we kind of agreed that it's difficult because you have to be sensitive to the minorities, you know, and minority hiring. However, you do need to find and try to hire the most qualified person, because if you hire somebody just based on minority, we discussed that you discriminated against the most qualified person because they were not a minority, as well as the fact that you and upper management and potentially even the employee that got hired will all know and act toward that employee based on that discriminating factor.
Oh, that's a good point.
Intentionally or unintentionally.
That's a good point.
So that's just kind of what we were discussing and decided that. So yes, I guess to both sides, because you have to find a balance.
I think that's the key right there, is you have to find a balance in hiring. You have to hire people that are qualified, the best qualified for the position, and also people that are, you know, there are rules and regulations that you have to follow also.
Mm-hmm. And then Laurie or Courtney, sorry, I forgot which one of you brought this up about the gospel and about using, you know, applying that, you know, and having the Spirit with us to know and understand which employee to hire in making some of these decisions. Again, I apologize, I forgot which one of you said that.
Oh, don't worry.
I think, yeah, I remember that part, so that's good.
And then,
Yeah.
Catherine, we, until you came back, we decided to move on to Elder Ballard's talk, well, President now, regarding counseling. And then Courtney was giving an explanation of how she liked about bishops and all of that, but she's here in case she wants to.
Oh, yeah.
How, like, he talks about how different bishops will take inward counsels, will either just give information, start assigning tasks to people, or that they will just have struggles trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. But the bishop needs to delegate the whole group and let them kind of decide. It needs to be a council within a council.
Right. So basically what, yeah, I read that right before we met today too. So basically what he was doing is he was just seeing the problem and in his mind coming to the solution, and then he was delegating what he wanted everyone to do. Instead of counseling with the council and saying, what are your ideas of how we help?
Yeah.
And you know, that way you feel much more part of the group and part of, you take ownership in what's actually happening, and you are more vested because you have a piece of it. Your ideas were heard, your thoughts were heard. You know, I had the great opportunity to be the Relief Society president for almost 5 years in our ward, and the Relief Society president a lot of times knows a lot more things that are going on than a lot of other people. And it was great to know that I could go to work council and that my voice would be heard. and I could share the things that I knew was going on, and as a group, we came to conclusions on how to help people.
Mhm.
And that idea is because everybody in that group has maybe had in that group that has had the exact same situation that someone else is going through, and they can say, this is what really helped me when I went through this, instead of all of us trying to guess at what would be the most helpful thing.
Mhm.
Try to
Yeah.
simple it down.
Right.
And I think that as you guys have been saying this, tying it back to those 3 paradigms of, I feel like when a bishop just comes up with an answer, doesn't discuss it, but instead delegates out assignments, that's treating the council like an assimilation, because, you know, in his mind, in that action, it doesn't matter, who's in charge of what. He made the decision and passed out assignments, and so everyone else was treated the same. Where integration, like Courtney said, and then Catherine, you gave your personal experience in, like you said, someone has had that experience, that makes them different than everyone else. And that's a difference that can add to the discussion. And so that's one of the benefits of integration, is that you have those experiences and difference of opinions that should be utilized in making a decision.
Yeah, because the integration, you're a team working together. You're like a basketball team. One person can't pull the whole load and win the game. It has to take the whole 5 people on the court to get passes and to make moves or whatever, to make the play work and get the shot in the basket.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
I really love also that the good thing about councils or getting ideas and brainstorm from your team is that once a decision is made, and this is a quote from Elder Valor, everybody's committed, because everybody was heard, like Catherine was saying, and everybody contribute to the problem with solutions and ideas. Even if my idea or suggestion was not the appropriate at the time, I was heard. So I'm more willing to support and commit to the, final outcome because I was part of it. So it's a very great opportunity to work on councils, to work as a team when everything flows, when you're heard, when you're respected for what you share and for those experiences that are so valuable, like Catherine said.
Yeah, very good. I agree with you 100%. And so this talk that he gave was back in 1996 or 7 or sometime in there. And now they've included that to teaching everyone about how to use these councils within your families. And can you just envision you and your kids or your family sitting down together and having these kind of councils where everyone's voice is heard, how much more a part of a family you would feel, and how much more connected and how much more vested you would feel for the success of your family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Catherine, we actually have it around our family dinner table sometimes, and everyone is given the opportunity to say something about either their day or whatever, and we have a family conversation. So we discuss things. We give each other suggestions.
Yeah, exactly, and it includes everyone, and it makes everyone feel more included, and it can be as simple as every night at dinner you talk about your day. But then when a big problem comes up, you use that same pattern that everyone can say what they, and of course there's going to be things depending on the age of the kids and stuff like that you don't share with the kids. But if it's something that affects the whole family and needs to be discussed on as a family, how much greater the solution is going to be, and how much greater your family's going to work together and come together if you use a council type setting to solve the problem.
That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. You have to have a council to decide who's doing what, when, where, how.
Yep. Yeah. So I think there's some great lessons that we can learn, you know, as members of the church and apply into the workplace if we ever get the opportunity or the chance to be in that kind of a managing position.
The situation.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it just depends on what kind of job and stuff that you eventually get someday, and maybe you'll be a manager over people, and maybe you'll have to work with people, and you'll have the opportunity to say, you know, to be that kind of manager that uses this approach of inclusion and of working together as a team and playing to everyone's strengths and including everyone's strengths. And so does anybody have anything else they, you know, that stuck out to them, or was that, you know, made an impression on them through reading this?
Not well. I mean, I was just thinking about one thing that in my HR interview, the lady who I was interviewing, she said that as an HR rep, the purpose of them is to build the team. And when you have those family councils, those other councils where people are heard and a group decision is made, you build that team because you instill that trust, you know, that openness,
That confidence.
that confidence. So true. Confidence is key to building a team, but it also, I think, in a family setting, it builds that confidence in the children, in themselves. And I think that from a employee standpoint, you feel confident as an individual because your voice matters, because you're heard, and because you know that your opinion is important. And when you have those, you have self-motivated employees who strive to be better.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Anybody else have any other thoughts? That's about basically what we needed to go over. I think we all agree that what's it called? The integration paradigm that they talked about in the article is like the best way to have a diversity policy in your company. That's the best way to make sure everybody's heard and that no one's discriminated against, and that
Treated fairly.
Yeah, people are treated fairly, and people are motivated to be the best employee they can be because they feel heard and they feel needed and accepted and wanted within the company.
And that they belong.
And that they belong. Excellent. All right, that is, I'm going to stop the broadcast.